Thank you so much. All right. Now calling the matter of the people versus Mosa Shamari Shamari. This is ticket number X4117688. This is count 1, speed 16 to 20 miles over on the freeway. Also count 2, violation of the seatbelt law, driver. Appearances for the record, starting with counsel for the state, please.
May it please the court, Paula Cole on behalf of the people.
All right. And we have an officer on today. Officer, can you state your name for the record, please?
Sergeant Dan Martin, badge number 409.
All right. And then attorney, can you state your name for the record, please?
Attorney Rashad Al-Masmari, P86023 in behalf of Musa,
Okay.
the defendant.
All right. And sir, can you state your name for the record, please?
Musa.
Your first name, last name.
Musa Al-Masmari.
All right. All right. Are we all set to proceed with this today?
Yes, the people are ready, Your Honor.
All right. You may proceed.
Yes.
Do either one of you have opening statements?
Yes, just very briefly, Your Honor. The people expect to show that on September 3rd, 2022 at approximately 9:45, Mr. Al-Masmari, I hope I didn't pronounce your name wrong, was in violation of the speed limit as he was proceeding on I-94 near Cecil Avenue. And the officer will testify that he was going at least 16 to 20 over the speed limit at that time, which is a 55-mile-an-hour speed zone. Also, he will testify, Trooper Sergeant Martin, excuse me, will testify that at that time and place he did not have a seatbelt, so he was in violation of the seatbelt law. So he was charged at that time with 2 counts, 2 civil infractions, speeding, and also violation of the seatbelt law.
All right. Thank you so much. Counsel for the defendant, did you have anything to say?
Yes, Your Honor. My client was driving a 94, and the speed limit there is 70 miles an hour, but about maybe 10 miles, which is, I think, from Dearborn to the another city, it's 55. And he was driving 70 miles. After he passed Dearborn, he didn't notice the speed limit. And if he was driving 70 miles per hour, he was at work. And his mom called him because she went to a social events, and she is diabetic, so type 2. And she did not took her medicine with her. So she get dizzy if she didn't take her medicine. So he stopped his work, then want to take his mom home. And he works for many years with Amazon as a driver. And he drives hundreds of miles every day. So it's happened as because of the reason I mentioned. And he doesn't want any points in his record because it may result in termination from his job. Not only raising the insurance, but he may be terminated from his job.
Thank you
And
for the
for the seatbelt, what he told me, he said it was on, but he was trying to take the wallet out of his pocket. That's what when the time that seatbelt was off.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that opening statement. APA Cole, you can proceed asking questions to Sergeant Martin.
Thank you. May you swear, Sergeant Martin, in Your Honor?
I can. Sergeant Martin, will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
You can put your hand down. Thank you so much, sir.
Sergeant Martin, on September 3rd of this year, approximately 9:45, where were you employed?
Michigan State Police.
And how long have you been employed there?
A little over 23 years.
And did you happen to be in the area of I-94 and Cecil?
Yes, I was.
And why were you in that area?
Just general road patrol.
And General Road Patrol, is that, how long have you been doing that duty?
A little over 23 years.
And what day of the week would this have been, September 3rd?
I don't know. I'd have to look at a calendar.
Okay. Is there a particular reason why you were in this area of I-94 and Cecil?
No, just driving through, patrolling.
And what are you patrolling for, basically?
Just traffic violations, drunk drivers, broken down vehicles.
What is the speed limit at that location?
55 miles per hour.
And how do you know that?
There are numerous signs.
Strike that. Did you come into, and this was in the city of Detroit, is that correct? You were in the
Yes.
city of Detroit at this time? Did there come a time that you came in contact with Mr. Musa Al-Masmari?
Yes.
And can you tell the court how it was that you came in contact with him?
I was eastbound a little bit before Cecil in the center lane. I observed some headlights coming up behind me pretty quickly, so I turned my rear facing radar on, and I obtained a speed reading of 83 miles per hour. The car continued in the left lane, and it slowed down a little bit and then passed me. I then was behind the vehicle, obviously, because he passed me. I activated my lights and stopped the vehicle.
So you were in a marked vehicle, state trooper vehicle?
Yes, a fully marked patrol car.
Now, you indicated that when he passed you, did you happen to know what speed you were going?
I believe I was somewhere between 65 and 70, but I'm not sure.
And when you said he passed you quickly, can you explain what you mean by that? Lights, or can you explain that a little bit more?
Yes, as I said, he was as he was approaching me from behind, radar showed that he was traveling 83 miles an hour. He slowed down a little bit, but still stayed in the left lane and went by me. And like I said, I don't believe that he slowed down below 75, but I can't remember exactly how slow he went.
Okay. As a result of your observations, what did you do next?
Once he went by me, I got behind him and then activated my lights to stop him.
And where did you stop him? And by that, I mean on the shoulder, or did he move? How did you get him to stop?
Turned my lights on, and he eventually pulled over to the right shoulder.
And then what did you do?
Well, as the vehicle was pulling over, it's dark out, so my headlights are on, and I did not notice the seatbelt going from the pillar over to his shoulder. So then the vehicle stopped. And as I was walking up to the vehicle, I looked again, and I still didn't see the seatbelt going from the post to his shoulder. I walk up to the car, made contact with him. He provided me with his Michigan driver's license, and I identified him as Mr. El-Masmari. I advised him of the reason that he was being stopped. He stated that his mom was sick, and so that's why he was in a hurry. I asked him if he needed an ambulance for her, and he said he did not. I also asked him why he wasn't wearing his seatbelt, and he advised that he was just putting it on now. I then went back to my patrol car. As I said, he was on radar as traveling at 83, but I did cite him at 73. And then I also cited him for not wearing his seatbelt.
Can you explain to the court what you mean about didn't notice him moving from the pillar, or can you explain when you were talking about the seatbelt?
Yeah, so some vehicles have the seatbelt that comes from the pillar by the driver's shoulder. Some cars have the seatbelt that comes out of the seat and goes to just over the shoulder. When I got to the car, I observed that his car was one where it comes from the pillar over towards the center of the car. So I would have easily been able to see it from behind him. Because obviously if it's one that comes from the seat and goes over a person's shoulder, then I'm not able to see it.
No, but it was dark out at that time, correct?
Correct.
But in your 23 years of experience, you can tell if somebody's taking it off right away, or can you determine if they're taking it off right away, or if they had it on before you stop them?
Oh yeah, it's usually very easy to, because typically you can see the seatbelt, and there's, especially being dark out, there'll be a shadow going across there, and if they take it off while they're moving, that shadow just suddenly disappears, and I just never saw the shadow.
Right now, okay. Oh, okay then, and so did you see his mother or a lady in the vehicle with him?
Yes, she was in the front passenger seat.
was it a person slumped over or ill, or could you tell if the person was ill or?
I could not. He had just advised that she was ill, and that's why I asked him if it needed an ambulance, and they said no.
So based upon your observations, then you issued a citation, is that correct?
Yes.
And what were those for?
I cited him for 73 and a 55 and for not wearing a seatbelt.
And you actually gave him a break then, because you said you were able to determine he was doing 83 at the time.
Correct.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness. Your turn off, Attorney Rashad.
And before you start, give me 1 second, okay, attorney?
Sure, carry on.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Thank y'all so much for a short adjourn. All right,
Oh, Your Honor, I just had just two follow-up questions.
okay.
I'm sorry if I could just, I know I rested, but I just wanted to ask him. On that particular date, Sergeant Martin, was your radar certified?
Yes, it was.
And when had it been certified?
It was calibrated at the beginning and end of my shift and was calibrated properly.
And at the time, why were you doing 65 to 70?
I was attempting to pace a vehicle that was in front of me that I anticipated was doing 70 to 75. When I noticed the vehicle coming up behind me significantly faster than the vehicle in front of me was going. So then I abandoned the car in front of me and switched to the car behind me.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge.
No problem. Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You may proceed now and ask Sergeant Martin questions.
Sergeant Martin, as you mentioned, you were speeding 65 miles per hour and 55 miles per hour speed limit, correct?
Correct.
Yes, most cars driving and 94 Detroit, most cars driving around 65 to 70 miles per hour.
I wouldn't say most, but some do, yes.
Is about around 2 or 3 miles away from where you stop Musa Al-Masmari. The speed limit and 94 is 70 miles per hour, correct?
I would say it's a tad bit more than that, but I don't know the exact distance because it's 94 in Schaefer is where it drops down to 55 from 70.
Okay, you said you didn't notice that his mom is sick. How you get to this point, to this result, or to this answer?
How did I not notice she was sick?
How did you notice that she is not sick?
I didn't notice that she wasn't sick. He said that she was sick, so that's why I asked them if they needed an ambulance, because I'm not a doctor or a medical professional. So
yes, and he mentioned that he was taking his mom home because she is sick. She want to take her medicine because she is she got diabetes type 2.
Your Honor, I'm going to object as to testimony. I think that he's offering testimony at this time.
The objection is sustained at this time. You can ask questions, but you can't give testimony, okay, attorney?
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's all what I have.
No more questions?
No more questions.
All right. Any redirect for that, Ms. Cole?
Just to clarify, Sergeant Martin, you said it's 70 at Schaefer at 94?
At Schaefer, it goes from 70 to 55.
And how far is Cecil from Schaefer approximately, if you know?
I don't. I'm going to guess 4 to 5 miles, but I'm not positive. I really don't know.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. And I don't know that. I think you may have answered all the questions. Officer, you said the mother was in the vehicle at the time?
Yes, she was in the front passenger seat.
She was in the front passenger seat. Okay. All right. All right. That was my only question. All right. Any more witnesses for the people at this time?
No, Your Honor, the people would rest at this time.
All right. Counsel, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So we're ready on my ruling then?
Yes, if people have no closing argument at this time, rest on our testimony of Sergeant Martin.
All right. What about you, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, my client worked for many years with Amazon, and any points on his record.
Well, Your Honor, I would
Well-
object because that is not evidence. He's
You don't
not-
have to worry, Ms. Cole. Let him make his record.
Oh, okay.
It's not evidence at all, but you know, go
Thank
ahead.
Yes, the consequences of the points will result in his termination from his job.
Okay. All right. I heard testimony today. First of all, in opening arguments, I heard testimony, and I may have been wrong, but I heard counsel say, and I know that's not testimony for fact, but I thought he said he was going to his mother from his employment to pick her up. I was very surprised to hear the testimony that the mother was already in the vehicle. We heard testimony from Sergeant Martin that while he was in his vehicle driving on I-94, he saw headlights quickly approaching. He testified that before then he had been pacing a vehicle that was going approximately 70 miles. He believed he hadn't fully caught up to that car at that time. Seeing the headlights quickly approaching, he turned his radar in the vehicle, which was calibrated at the beginning of his shift, backwards and clocked a vehicle coming towards him at 83 miles per hour. Upon that car passing him, he did pull over that car eventually and was able to infer that, get the ID, and did see that it was Musa Al-Shamari in that vehicle at that point in time. He approached him. Officer testified that he believed he did not have on a seatbelt, but he also testified that it was dark outside at that time, and it was being nighttime. He said he didn't see the shadow across him as he was approaching at this point in time. But the speed limit is clearly on. It was testified today that the speed limit on 94 after Schaefer is 55 miles per hour, but before then it's only 70 miles per hour. And Mr. Al-Shamari was clocked at 83 miles per hour, which is 13 miles over the speed limit. Even if he was on the 70 mile per hour, he was not. He was on the 55 mile per hour. He was doing 28 miles over the posted speed limit. Officer did testify that, however, he did do a ticket for 73 in a 55 mile per hour zone at that point in time. Court believes that the officer has testified sufficiently on today, and that he was speeding more than the excess amount of speed that was on the ticket for today, more than the 83 miles per hour, but did not do it for that. He did it for 16 to 20 miles over posted speed. Court's not sure about the violation of the basic speed law. It sounds like by the time he approached him, he may have been trying to get his identification out. At that point in time, the court believes that that's reasonable. So the court's going to find him guilty of speeding freeway, 16 to 20 miles over posted speed, responsible. And I'm going to find him not responsible on the violation of the seatbelt law.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you so much. Sir, the fine for that is $170. Typically, you have 14 days to be able to pay that. Is that going to be enough time for you?
Yes, that's enough time. How about Your Honor for the points?
Yes, it's 4 points.
4 points on that one, because the consequences of this decision will
I
result in
believe
termination.
that the offer originally was 6 to 10 over. Am I correct? That's
Limited
2
access, limited access.
limited access. That's 1 point on his ticket. That's 1 point he would have got. 1 point.
Yes, that will be even better than the
But
4
you
points.
didn't want that. You had them. Hold on. We went through a whole hearing
Yeah,
because
sure.
you didn't want him to have any points, and so you let the officer testify. The officer has now testified at this point in time, and to my surprise, he wasn't even doing just the 73 miles over. He was doing 83 miles in the 55 mile per hour zone. And so you didn't want the offer originally. This wasn't a bargain. Now, I don't know APA code. Do you want, if he does that, then
But
how would you
my
like to proceed?
Your Honor, my client told me that she was driving 72 miles per hour, not 83.
Sometimes when they have stuff calibrated and it's on the thing and they testify, and it does say on the ticket that he was doing 83 in a 55 mile per hour zone. It says DLLL passing all caught up and passed me quickly, buckled for seatbelt in his lap. He was putting it on now, said mom was sick. He did put that on the ticket, so I believe that, but didn't need an ambulance. He put that on the ticket. I don't know.
Your Honor, no ambulance because she is, she just need to take her medicine because she is dizzy. There is no need for ambulance for that.
Right.
So she was dizzy and he was rushing her to take her medicine.
Is Sergeant Martin still here?
No, he left.
Your Honor, I would not be willing to, I would be willing to go to the original offer.
I know. Does he want the original offer? That's the best we can do. It's gonna be 1 point on his license, and he's gonna have to plead to the seatbelt ticket.
Okay, we'll take that.
All right. Reading from the ticket to establish a factual basis on the date of September 3rd, 2022, in the area of East I-94 and Cecil Streets in the city of Detroit. Mr. Al-Shamari was driving a Honda vehicle, and he did do limited access 6 to 10 miles over posted speed, as well as violation of the seatbelt safety law. Satisfied, counsel?
People are satisfied.
Thank you. How about counsel for the defendant?
Yes, satisfied.
All right. So at this time, the court's going to enter a plea to the amended pleas of responsible. These are both pleas of responsible to the amended charge of limited access, 6 to 10 miles over, and as charged for the seatbelt. The seatbelt violation is $65, and the limited access is $135. So that's a total of 135 plus 65. $200 even, okay? That amount is due on November 16th, 2022, okay?
Okay.
All right, just 1 point now, because seatbelt law doesn't have any points. So it's just a 1 point, and hopefully that doesn't hurt him too much at his employment, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're very welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bye-bye. Is that all for the morning docket?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You okay, Don? Do you have stuff for me to sign?
I only have one show cause, but I'll have more show causes this afternoon.
Okay. All right. Whatever's not
So we can
signed. Okay. I'll sign everything for today, probably tomorrow.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I do have 2 caveats to bring up to you, Your Honor.
Oh, absolutely. I'll do those. You want me to call them on the record or just have them stamped and signed?
Their probation requested
Okay.
violations.
Just bring them to me and I'll sign them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, we also have some 10:30 cases which were adjourned to pay. I reviewed those matters and they both paid.
All right. Fantastic. I appreciate that. So do you need me to dismiss those?
You dismiss
I
the
already
ones.
took care of it, Your Honor.
Oh, fine. Good.
Fantastic. All right. Seems like we got it all together. Thank you, Attorney Fikens.
Thank you, Judge. We have a 132, Your Honor, and
Okay. How many 130s do you have?
top 5,000,
Okay. All right.
maybe less.
All right. I thought the morning, but I don't know that they found anybody for the afternoon docket. Are they all, what are they? What type of matters are they?
All pre-trials, Judge. We can